Hello, hello, hello. So we're finally at the point where we can start our franchise mode. So we have our two ballparks done that we were going to use in it. So now we can actually get it set up and get it started. So just this is going to be a brief overview of everything that we're going to do in franchise mode and kind of the changes that we're doing for this specific one. So to start, we are moving the Rays to a new ballpark, so they will be in the most recent one that I created, which is Publix Park at Ybor City. So in case you have not seen it in my Stadium Creator series, this is kind of just a brief look at it. So this will be their new home, just kind of on the coast, and you got the lighting set up too. So yeah, so that'll be their ballpark. You can see the full one in my Stadium Creator series if you want to see the rest of it. But the other big change that we're doing is we are moving Oakland to Las Vegas because we're gonna upset Oaklanders even more after losing the Raiders. But so I did create the Las Vegas Stadium, but I have updated it since, and I'm going to use that one instead. So these will be the changes that I made to that ballpark that was in the video. There's just a few things that I didn't like, so I took out the custom bullpen in left field and created this little section. So it's got another little pool thing. It's got the restaurant with the walkway up to the upper section. And then I added some more signs just around it to make it look a little more realistic, as well as the actual name of the park. So we also have another scoreboard over here, and then beyond the outfield wall, I just made it look a little more Vegas-y with the memory that I had left. So we got a little convention center-like thing there with the boardwalks and palm trees, and then a parking lot and another tower. So they don't really have anything to mimic the strip, so that'll have to do. So this is our new version of this ballpark. I think it looks a little better. I didn't really like the custom bullpen in the outfield too, so I changed it. And so yeah, that'll be the ballpark for what will be the Las Vegas Gamblers. So yeah, so then I actually created their team as well. So I'll show you that, and then we'll get the franchise started. So let's see. For the roster, I used an updated roster, and then I just made everybody that was injured not injured. So everybody's in the MLB, so that is them. So Oakland will become the Las Vegas Gamblers, as I said. And then just so you can actually see their jerseys and whatnot, these are the home jerseys. Going with the red and gold, so we'll see how. Going for a couple of the different team names, but the Aces are the WNBA team, and then the Blackjacks didn't have actually like a team name for their audio, so an audio team name. So we'll go with these, and then for the away jerseys, going with the grays. Same hats, just kind of mimic some other teams with clean jerseys, no crazy, like nothing too crazy with them. So those will be the aways, and so that is how we're gonna do that. we were gonna be the Mariners. So as we get into it, I kind of like to keep this stuff all the same. Don't like to mess with anything there. I like to manually manage everything, especially scouting and all that, so keep all that the same. So go to spring training. And then for this part, I kind of have it mapped out too. There are a couple of big changes that I wanted to make just in terms of some trades, and they actually involve the Diamondbacks, so I'll kind of show you what they are. The first one that we did, I really like Ketel Marte, so it hurts, but what I did was Ketel Marte and then just kind of a long relief guy, Caleb Smith. And I know people are gonna hate me, but we gave him Noelvi. So it's Noelvi, Deloach, and then just a random. So I know people are gonna hate that because Noelvi is one of the top prospects in all of baseball, but I feel like the Mariners' window to compete is these next few years, since they have guys like Julio coming up. He's already in the majors, but like him coming up, they just got Robbie Ray, Winker. Those guys are all set to be free agents in a couple of years, so I kind of feel like this is their chance, especially with Oakland selling off everybody. The Astros aren't what they were. Texas, I feel like they're going to get better. They don't have the pitching yet, but when you have guys like Corey Seager and Simeon, they have a really good offense. They just don't have the pitching yet. So once that catches up, I think they're going to be a force in the AL West, and the Astros, or the Angels, are getting better too. So I kind of feel like these next 2 years or so are the Mariners' best options to contend in the AL West before some of the other teams catch up again. So we're kind of going for it. So that was the first trade. Then we stuck with them, and we got Zach Gallen. So Marte, we are going to move to second base, so he's going to pair with JP to kind of form the middle of the infield, and then we'll leave Kelenic in center field. So with that, Kyle Lewis kind of becomes expendable. So for this deal, we did Lewis, Ford, and then just another random pitcher. 33, so I figured we can replace him. So that gives us that, and then just like the last one I tend to just kind of bring back is Reese McGuire. I did it last year too. It doesn't take much to get him at all, so just did Anchia, Levy, and just another pitcher. So Albers, 63. So McGuire, he's from the Northwest, and he hits lefty, so kind of makes a nice platoon for our current catchers with Tom Murphy and Raleigh and Torrance, since they're all righties. So it's kind of, it's nice. All right, so moving forward, now that we're at the end of spring training, we can kind of see what our final roster is going to be like. Just kind of taking a look at the stats. I simulated it all. So Kelenic, I ended up putting him in the leadoff spot because he was in 293, so he was off to a pretty good start. Marte was behind him. He had 302. Our lineup did really well, so this was kind of the way my lineup ended up. I was giving Julio. I was giving Julio a chance, but he ended up hitting like 220, so I sent him down. Evan White I put in the first base spot, he ended up hitting 500. It was only 8 at bats, but might as well just keep Julio down. France take over DH, and then yeah, kind of just ended up being the way that it worked out. So pitching, you got Robbie Ray, did pretty well. Callan, we'll give him a chance, but not what you like to see. But then Gilbert, Marco, and Flexen, we'll give Flexen a chance too. But we'll have the young guys in waiting in case he keeps up with that. So bullpen did really well though. So Smith is going to be our long relief guy. Miskowitz, Munoz, Giles did really well too. He almost took over the closer spot, but you can just kind of see our bullpen outside of him. It's really good. But Steckenrider, yeah, can't really beat that. So he will open as our closer. We'll keep Giles in mind too. Just kind of see what happens from there. So that is the results of spring training. So we'll have that'll be our final roster. You can kind of see how it'll play out. All right, I know that I'm making this part after the fact now, but so right after our first game. But then the other thing that I like to set up is the scouting. I do it a little bit different than some of the other people. What I normally do is I start off, and I like scouting, so what I normally do is just get one guy for each region. So let's see, we got our international, so let's do that. And I like to have the guys that have good discovery, because that's kind of how I go about scouting. So we'll get one for each region. International will be big. Let's do that. We like to spend on scouting, so and then what I'll do is come in here, and then I base it on kind of the team needs. So what I'll usually do to start is just pick a scout, and then we'll just kind of assign them something to find. So what I normally do is we'll do like an infielder that has power and fielding. The idea behind that is to find somebody that'll replace Seager and now Suarez long term at third base. So hopefully we can find a power hitting third baseman if possible. And then this one, I also would like to have a good long term catcher. So we'll kind of do the same thing here. We'll do power and fielding. We'll have them find one of those. East. Let's see if there's anybody in the East to scout. Find a second baseman. How about that? Sign him, and then international. Let's try and find a pitcher. Maybe kind of want to find like a closer or something like that. So we'll do righty with velocity, and we'll try and find that. So we'll let that go. As you can kind of see, spoilers, we won the first game, but I'll have a summary of the first series as episode 2 of this. But yeah, kind of my thoughts on just how I'm going to do this. We'll kind of combine just videos that I've actually made and streams, and then just kind of quick game summaries. I think I'll go by the series. and then just kind of the bigger points. So we'll do a couple of series that might be interesting, and then we'll do bigger stuff and like more relaxed stuff like this for things like the trade deadline, where we can kind of talk through some of the stuff, and then the draft, and kind of what my mindset is going into that and what I look for, and then just scouting along the way with general thoughts. So anyways, that is how I set these up, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. It's good to finally play games, so it'll be fun to actually get into this. You can kind of see we won. It threw me off because I forgot that Manfred canceled the first series of the year, so it threw me off when they were playing Detroit at home instead of the Twins, like they did in real life. So anyways, this will be the franchise mode. Stick around if you want to see more. Feel free to follow if you want. I'm pretty excited. I think we go to Las Vegas. Actually, I don't think we get to. That's at home. Yeah, pretty excited to actually go play Las Vegas. And same thing with the Rays. I think we play the Rays sooner. Yeah, so we get to play in the new ballpark there. But that is the overall for franchise. So we'll get it started before too long here. I've already played the first game because I was antsy last night before recording this. So I do have a lot of this set up. Just kind of ready to get into it. So hope you enjoy. We'll kind of get it going from here. Have a good one, y'all.